Hello, friends! We are starting a new season of the World Inside Out Ukraine. To be honest with you, I haven't been abroad for 3.5 years. I shoot only at home. And every day, I get inspired by fantastic people, breathtaking landscapes, unique traditions, and unusual wonders. I get inspired myself, and I will share that with you. I'm inviting you on an unforgettable journey. Let's fly together! At all times, humanity tried to crack the formula of strength. Archimedes looked for a point of leverage. Galileo revealed the laws of mechanics, and Newton said that force is action. To be strong, you must keep moving. Ukrainians have been proving this truth for the 4th year in a row. When it seems we are about to run out of strength, every time we find new and new sources of power in motion and in action. Ukrainians defend. You see? Live combat work underway. Love.
Kiss.
Overcome. Where are you climbing? Zhenya, the rope ends there. Preserve identity. What are you doing? Do not rock the car. Explore. Such tiny paws, thinner than matches. Save. I pinched it. Give me. Believe. A church choir, a kids choir. Live. What then is the formula of Ukrainian strength? Let's find out together. Usually, when an air raid alarm starts, everyone goes to shelters. But there are people for whom an air raid alarm is the start of their work. Very responsible, very dangerous, and very complex work. Today you will see how Ukrainian air defense works from the inside. Today we are about to undertake the most exclusive expedition in the history of the world inside out. This has never been shown before. As you know, air defense work cannot be filmed. For a whole year we've been securing all the necessary permits to show you what you cannot see from your window or from your favorite Telegram channel. I'll say it straight, all materials are approved and safe to show. Of course, we cannot show everything we filmed. But today, you have a unique chance to see footage recorded for the first time in history and to feel the real atmosphere of the combat work of Ukraine's air defense forces. How mobile crews operate. How people work inside secret mobile command posts and how Shaheds are shut down from helicopters like these. We land and begin our expedition. I had 2 and 1 just fell out. The World Inside Out with Dmytro Komarov, Ukraine. Friends, right now you cannot even imagine where we are. This is a secret location, a unique shoot. This has never been shown on television. It may look like just a camouflage net and a vehicle in the woods, but right now imagine that from this very place, during an air alarm, the entire air defense command of Ukraine is being run. All of this has until now remained off camera. Cameras were not allowed here because this is one of the most protected sites in the country. In this place, they don't press a launch button and don't shoot down missiles by hand. But it is here that an air attack is first met. Commands are issued and every move is coordinated. We are inside the command post of Ukraine's air defense forces. IAF commander to IDC commander. Shaheds are already in. How many? Up to 10. Prepare 2 fast ones at the first location right away. We spent a very long time obtaining permission to film this process. And now you have a chance to see the work of air defense right from its heart, from its brain. Here it is, right here. We see an ordinary civilian minibus, but this is a command post, and now inside of it, do you recognize him? 9363, what is that number? The commander of Ukraine's Air Force, Anatoly Nikolaevich Krivonoshko. And we have an exceptional chance to film real combat work. Right now, an alarm is on. Shaheds are flying. Let's ask what else is in air now. And we all imagine Air Defense Command as some deep bunker, but here is a forest, a minibus. This is what modern war looks like. This is the real work. I'll go say hello. Good day to you. I'm sorry, is it possible to disturb you now? Ballistics. Ballistics, excuse me. Ballistics, the word that during an air threat scares Ukrainians the most. Such rockets follow a ballistic trajectory. At first, they climb very high, some of them even into space. There they turn and fall on their target at tremendous speed, several times the speed of sound. That is why they pose the greatest danger and require the utmost focus from those who repel the air attack. There are only minutes to shoot them down. And now this is not a story from the news, this is reality. At this very moment, every Ukrainian is under threat. And we are here too. It is especially dangerous to be near a command post with the top Air Force officials. It is here that those who the enemy seeks to destroy are gathered. Ballistics are incoming, so we cannot distract, because in Anatoly's hands are the lives of thousands. But while I comment on what I see, I will speak in a whisper, so as not to distract. A mobile command post is an ordinary minibus. We see many phones and monitors. We see rockets on the way. Direction Zaporizhzhia Dnipro. Area of alarm? Sound a missile threat. Yes, done. All systems in the entire direction on high alert. Give me more info about Pavlograd. Unfortunately, I can't hear what is happening because constant communication is going by phone. It's interesting what is on Telegram now. Let's check. What is flying? Where is it coming from? Right now, Zaporizhzhia, Dnipro, a ballistic missile is heading in your direction. The work is happening right in the forest. I could not have imagined it would be like this. And honestly, I didn't know how it would look until I came in here, because all of this is secret. This is a mobile command post on which our lives depend. And we have an exceptional opportunity to look at this vehicle from different sides. An ordinary van, camouflaged with branches and leaves. From another angle, you can see how the work is being done. Another ballistics from Crimea, 84, Kremenchuk direction, eliminating. Roger, plus, working. We won't interfere. In fact, footage like this is a rare opportunity to show something truly secret, truly important, but at the same time to show it safely, because right now we are not revealing to the enemy where it is. Threat of a second ballistics launch. Good morning. Good morning. Brigadier General Serhiy Yalashev, how do you find it? You know, I'm deeply impressed. I was very surprised to see Anatoly Nikolaevich here. The enemy is very insidious. He first of all looks for command posts. That is why we are forced to keep moving constantly. We use a mobile post so they cannot track us. It is one element of security. We can even command while on the move. So you can be standing somewhere in Kiev. Location does not matter. So friends, you might be stuck in a traffic jam, see a minibus, and inside could be the commander of the Air Force directing the country's air defense. Could the enemy somehow find this location and strike it? I think yes. And how could they do that? Methods vary from space reconnaissance to agent intelligence. So there is no absolute security. A missile could strike here now if information was leaked, if there are rats. Yes, If the vehicle was tracked, then it becomes dangerous. About the vehicle, what we have here? We have all info here. We have an air situation picture and communication. Objective 9801 in the Mima area. A Shahed drone destroyed. Verify the number. We can distract the commander now. Tell us what's happening. From time to time I hear the word destroyed. Yeah, the enemy has already launched strikes, and now the command post is conducting combat operations to repel the aerial attack. Dnipropetrovsk, 2 ballistic missiles destroyed. Roger, another ballistic detected, working. This is impressive. These are historic documentary shots. This will be in textbooks. This is now a wartime requirement. You constantly need to find something new, a new solution. Break away from templates, that's how we operate. Cancel ballistic alarms, leaving missile alerts in the areas where we are working against Shaheds. Understood. Do you hear this sound? Unfortunately, it has become an inseparable part of every Ukrainian's life. This is how the Iranian Shahed 136 sounds. It is the Shaheds that most terrorize Ukrainians day and night. Our enemy calls these UAVs Geran. Ordinary Ukrainians simply call them mopeds because by sound they really closely resemble ordinary mopeds. Something like what I'm using now. So friends, how are kamikaze drones shut down? And what gives strength to the people who cover our sky? Right now we're heading to a secret location where our air defense forces shoot down mopeds. Not the ground ones, but those in the air. Now, for the 4th year, every morning in Ukraine begins not with coffee, but with numbers. How many rockets and UAVs have targeted Ukraine today? In 2024 alone, our neighbors launched more than 7,000 kamikaze drones at us. But while we sleep or shelter, there are those who guard our sky. Yeah, woohoo! Nailed it! How do mobile fire teams operate? Who are the people who head out to the fields every night to shoot down enemy UAVs? What gives them strength? And what do you feel when a Shahed is flying over your head? One you must shoot down and which, with high probability, may be aiming directly at you. Today we will not tell you about drones. We will tell you about the people who keep them from reaching their targets. You see? Live combat work underway. They are trying to shoot down Shaheds. I am now standing at the position assigned to me by the military. We arrived here literally 10 minutes ago. We were waiting in town. We came at the order of the military, who through their observation system see that enemy UAVs may soon enter this area. And right now, at these GPS coordinates, a mobile crew should arrive, and we will watch the entire process of how mobile groups shoot down drones. Here we see a vehicle with a camouflaged machine gun on the roof. This is a mobile combat group. Good evening. Good evening. What is your name? Yevhen. I'm Dmytro. So friends, this is how it all unfolds. There's no time for long conversations. As the vehicle stops, Yevhen and his colleagues immediately begin preparing the equipment. We strip the camouflage and set up the thermal imagers. Load ammo. Are there glowing tracers here? Yes, 1 in every 5. Tracers are the bullets that glow in flight, creating the so-called tracer line. Their purpose is simple and very important: to tell nearby units where a Shahed is if they suddenly can't visually detect it. All right, load it. This is a 50 cal 100 round box. And the Browning machine gun. It's quite simple and reliable. We've been using it for over a year, and it's hardly ever jammed. The effective range, that is the maximum distance at which this gun can engage targets, is about 2 kilometers. You say 100 rounds. How long does that last? 20 to 30 seconds. How many rounds do you carry for the whole night? Up to 2,000 rounds, because you never know what the night will bring. Besides the machine gun, the guys use other important equipment. The thermal imager attaches with quick release mounts. It's set up very quickly. You open the eyepiece and it turns on with a single light press. We also use it to record video of the shoot down. You may have seen such footage somewhere online. This is the video recording. Yeah! Nailed it! Maybe we'll see something similar today ourselves. Every night I see a searchlight from my window. Yes, we also have a spotlight. Anyway, the thermal imager is better. There have been cases when a Shahed flew into the light. Did it hit? It hit the crew, yes. It hit the crew? Yes. This happens because Shahed operators today can correct their flight path in real time, including using light as a guide. That's why you're in armor? Have members of mobile crews been killed? Yes. Recently a crew from our battalion took a hit. A ballistic missile struck. So the enemy hunts these mobile crews as well, right? Yes, yes. We hear air raid siren going off in the city. Work is beginning. The Browning is aimed at the sky. He is scanning with the thermal imager. We see the target. It's approximately 17 kilometers away and heading toward us. Preparing, waiting. Tracking targets is helped by the so-called Virage tablet. It's a system that shows all enemy objects in our airspace or heading toward it. The system gathers data from all radars and intelligence services and provides information on the target's location, its altitude, speed, and direction of travel. From the direction of Suja, it's heading towards us. What's its altitude? 2 kilometers. That's high. But if it passes by us, we will engage. Distance 16. 16. 15. 15. When do you start engaging? At what distance? Under 2 kilometers. The engagement radius of mobile fire teams is small, so there are many of them across Ukraine. I've heard that about 1,500 mobile groups are currently operating in Ukraine. Your colleagues, how many do you have here? 3 more crews. What to do in case we shoot it down and realize it's falling on us? Hide in a shelter. But we have no shelter. Drop to the ground. Just into the field? Yes, just. Face down? Yes, well, at least fall into some kind of ditch. Distance? 13. The technical characteristics of the Shahed allow it to fly at the speed of a fast car, about 180 to 200 kilometers per hour, not to mention the new jet-powered Shaheds. But if it's an ordinary Shahed, it will be near us in about 5 minutes. And while we prepare to meet it, the guys tell us about the tricks the enemy uses when launching UAVs. We may be observing one target, and they can come in pairs. One above, one below, or alongside. So if you see one, it may be a group, yes. But that's not all the maneuvers. They can fly low in valleys, ravines, over rivers. The lowest point is the water level. Radar stations have a harder time detecting them at such altitudes. 100 meters ahead, the lowlands begin. And there have been cases when they emerged from there right onto us. A few more minutes, and the Shahed finally approaches closer to us. Oh, we can see the tracers. The Shahed is almost nearby. However, from our zone it is further than 2 kilometers, so another group closer to it begins engaging first. Our colleagues, who are nearby, are working on it. They are working very actively. I never wished a drone would fly at me, but now... Well, we want to film it, so we hope that the drone will fly towards us, not them. Our crew is also at full combat readiness to intercept the target, but a nuance arises. I don't see it. No visual. Yeah, so we can tell that it's moving a little to the right of us. In the end, this UAV does not enter our engagement zone. It flies to where another unit is positioned. That's why so many mobile fire teams are operating, because you never know how it will fly. When mobile fire teams stand at a point and wait for a Shahed to come to them, there are also those who can chase a Shahed right in the air. That is the army aviation. They are the ones who stop the enemy by firing in the air. Right now we are heading to them, to the place where the sky is a workplace and at the same time a battlefield. Are you ready? Yes. We take off now. Already take off. Take off, faster, faster. Take off, get in. Come on, come on. We quickly follow the instructions of the military. We put on armor, preparing for takeoff. Where is Andriy? Here a parachute is better than a vest, I think, no? There are parachutes too. So that during maneuvers and banking, no one falls out of the helicopter, everyone is strapped in. This is how they fly in helicopters during the full-scale war. We are taking off. Honestly, it is very frightening, because you understand, you are in the air during an air raid alert. Right now, everyone is searching for the airborne enemy, and you are in the air. Unfortunately, I hear very poorly and have no headset. This aircraft is not intended for transporting journalists, plus it is very cold. We are at some altitude, I don't know which. Nothing is visible. And when I look toward the crew, there are only green lights and control elements. Darkness in the window. It adds a special kind of tension, because it feels like we are flying blind. The pilots are working with night vision goggles. First impression, oh. Not only had I never flown in a helicopter at night, I hadn't flown on anything for almost 4 years. And I'm impressed by the people who pilot such machines in complete darkness. Just now I saw through the porthole how air defenses were working nearby. Moments like that are especially frightening. Landing. I don't know the reason yet, but we are landing. We landed in the middle of a field. What happened? Why did we land? The aerial target was neutralized. They cut the engine. It's not so noisy anymore. Great. Now I can share my impressions with you. I don't know if it was audible when we were flying. Friends, my first flight on a Mi-8 at night is astonishing. I have great trust in the pilots and I want to shake their hands. Greetings. Thank you for this first flight. Now we'll ask the chief pilot. Thanks for these first impressions. I've never flown in a helicopter at night. It's a bit scary, to be honest. I couldn't see where we were flying. What happened? The crew was put on first readiness. We took our stations on board and received command. We had to take off. We received preliminary data on the target, its course and speed. Ground forces vector us to a certain distance. Then, with our technical capabilities, we search for it. And then we do the job. So after you acquire that track, you search visually using the night vision device. Yes. And when you spot it, then we contact the ground command if we're given permission to engage the target, because you can find it, but you may not be allowed to engage it. Why might they not allow it? There may be populated areas below, and they don't want fragments to hit them. So simply put, helicopters intercept drones long before they are over populated areas. We then shadow it, following it for 10 kilometers or so until we reach a safe area and there engage it. We flew into the target area, but by the time we arrived, our neighboring forces had already engaged and destroyed it, so our help wasn't needed. Now what? Are you going to sleep? Probably not. We're refueling. And then we wait for the command, because we may be sent up again. We are waiting for a command from the command post. So we must wait here by the aircraft until there is a command, yes. Andrievich? Okay, okay. So friends, we remain inside the helicopter. It is refueling now. The air raid alert continues, but there are no targets in our sector at the moment. While the crew has a few minutes to catch their breath, I have the chance to show you the helicopter itself. What a gigantic machine. In the Soviet Union they called it a cow. Very gluttonous. It consumes 800 liters per hour. It's just like a flying Icarus, a real bus. It holds 24 people, a bird. To me, it's a woman. She's a bit of a character, so to speak, with a temper, but... What year was she born? How many years old is she? You don't ask a woman that kind of questions. Enough. She's already an adult. Young, beautiful. She can still hit hard if needed. She can. She delivers. Can you tell us about your combat experience? My current position is chief pilot of the helicopter squad. I have about 6,000 hours of flight time, both civilian and military. In 2022, with the start of the full-scale invasion, I was called into the army and joined this brigade. Before that, I served on peacekeeping missions Sierra Leone, Liberia. No way. Before the full-scale war, Ukrainian servicemen took part in peacekeeping missions around the world, in Iraq, Liberia, Kosovo, Congo, and other countries. And it was there, in real combat conditions, that our pilots gained unique experience. They learned to operate in the air under fire, evacuate the wounded, and deliver cargo to dangerous points. We are Army Aviation of the Ground Forces. I always had a question, why are helicopters part of the ground forces? Because they take off from the ground? Because we are the winged infantry. We work for the infantry, and together with the infantry. That is our main task. Why winged infantry? In the realities of modern war, army aviation crews perform a wide range of military tasks. In such helicopters, they can quickly and relatively covertly reach the required point and, for example, burn an enemy column, deliver ammunition, or evacuate the wounded. It was on such Mi-8 helicopters that army aviation pilots carried out incredible missions to the besieged Azovstal in Mariupol. And now they face a new task: to pursue and shoot down Shaheds. Now we assist the Air Force. Helicopters as air defense, this was a forced measure, because Russia attacks with a huge number of aerial means, rockets and drones. There are not enough regular air defense forces or mobile crews. This way the sky is covered in every sense. Mobile fire teams operate, but they cannot shoot down everything. Helicopters allow engaging targets in zones that are not covered. Tell us about your crew. The crew of such a helicopter is 4 people. The crew commander, the pilot, he has an assistant who serves as the navigator. The flight mechanic is responsible for the operation of all systems in flight on the ground and for preparations, and the onboard gunner, who engages the aerial targets that we find. When I see the target, I then bring it under the door, under the gunner. Then he receives the command, "Dmytro, fire." We must strike it, but I have to bring the aircraft and my crew back to the base from which we took off. I consider that my primary task. Where is our gunner? Please tell us, what weapon is that? This is a Belgian FN Mag machine gun, chambered for 7.62 by 51 NATO rounds. Can you show how the system works? The machine gun is mounted on the side on simple latches. My firing positions are here and here, so I will engage the target in this direction or that direction. The gun is mobile and the sight picture is good both day and night. I've studied this issue and I know that there are Shahed detonations in the air where fragments can reach the heli. Yes, that happens, although usually they are shut down and fall to the ground. There have been cases where they exploded, so there must be a safe distance of about 300 meters from a Shahed. How many Shaheds do you have to your credit so far? 1 Shahed and 4 reconnaissance UAVs. This is my second sortie. Second sortie? Yes. How old are you? I'm 22. When have you been mobilized? About 1.5 months ago I signed a contract. And you immediately joined the helicopter troops? Yes. How could you immediately get into such an elite unit? There was an open vacancy for a door gunner. I completed training and got here. I thought it would be hard. And it was, but then I liked it. It's interesting. Do you like it? Yes, I do like it. What do you love about your job? For the altitude, for the great views, especially when we fly by day, you can see the whole land. It's quiet. People walk calmly as if there is no war. But if we take off, it means there is some threat and we head to it. Believe it or not, during the full-scale war, machines like these have shut down approximately 4,000 Shaheds. So we've refueled and takeoff is very, very soon. It seems the atmosphere has relaxed a bit. Previously, every phone kept ringing. I'm waiting for the go-ahead. Yes, please. Good morning, Anatoly Mykolaievich. Good morning. I'm very grateful. It's a great honor to be here. Is there still an alert now? There is currently an alert for unmanned aerial vehicles like Shaheds. We have repelled the ballistics. There was a powerful mass attack from different directions, about 5 ballistic missiles. From the inside, the mobile command post resembles a small room without windows. There are only rows of monitors and phones, and the main thing, people. Beside the commander are those we almost never see, but who every second hold our sky. The commander of the Air Force himself, the head of the anti-aircraft missile troops, a signal officer and a representative of aviation. How does work proceed during an air raid alert, from the moment the target takes off until the moment of a shootdown? Here is the Virage tablet. What do we see? Where do the targets on the screen come from? It's a centralized alert system drawing on all intelligence sources that allows us to track the movement of aerial targets. We see that the west is clear now. There is a threat of a strike to the south. A flight of ballistic targets has been detected. We are now determining what it is. After detecting targets, I issue the command to alert the troops and to warn the population. Who issues the alert? Civilian alerts are issued through the State Emergency Service. And how is it determined in which region there is an alert and in which not? Now we can see Kyiv region. We calculate flight time, and about 15 to 20 minutes before the approach to the region, a rocket hazard is announced. So now Kyiv region, in about 15 minutes Zhytomyr region will be announced if we do not destroy all the targets by then. Operational again. 125 Shaheds. Work in the command post does not stop for a moment. The enemy attacks constantly. Data on the monitors change in real time. And short, precise commands come from everywhere. Commander's Aviation, AI, MFT, 9531, en route to Chernihiv. The mobile fire team's task is to detect and destroy. And we return to another mobile fire team to find out what their situation is currently. Good evening. Good, Vitaly. Dmytro. Alexei. I'm a squad leader. I'm the driver. The crew consists of 2 people, right? Yes. Approximately that sound right? Yes, exactly the same. While I was driving to you, 2 crews almost started shooting at me. Yes, you were heard a kilometer away. I'm joking, of course, but every joke has a grain of truth. The sound is really very similar. Very. But since the start of the full-scale war, our aggressor has not stood still. UAVs like Gerbera have appeared. At Decoy, it carries no explosives. Gerbera is a simplified and much cheaper version of a Shahed. Its body is made, you won't believe it, of foam. Such a drone costs tens of times less than a regular Shahed, but it still causes a lot of damage. So simply put, Gerbera is a fake drone. Yes, it distracts our attention while a real target may fly in from the other side. You could say it's like that foam child's airplane. Yes, yes. Friends, before coming here, we stopped by a toy shop. A toy like this for 79 hryvnias. That is the same principle our enemy used to distract air defense. They must be shot down too, because you don't know whether it's combat or non-combat. Yes. Here's how a fake Gerbera drone looks, friends. It is quite light, but very, very similar to the real thing. It distracts air defenses. And we will take a closer look at it. Good morning. Good morning. You look at it and think really on the outside it's like a Garand. Similar but a completely different configuration. It has no warhead, it does not explode. At least that was the case at the time of filming. Now the enemy has begun equipping Gerberas with a high explosive fragmentation warhead weighing up to 5 kilograms. So if you see such wreckage somewhere, do not approach it under any circumstances. It is made entirely of foam. By the way, this foam is roughly the same as what we use to pack refrigerators and washing machines. Very, very light, like that. It lifts easily. The most expensive part is the cheap two-stroke engine. We open the engine compartment here. You see, friends, this is ordinary refrigerator packing foam. And here is the tank. See, a plastic bag with fuel to reach the destination. You might think how far this little plane made like a school model could fly. But in fact, Gerbera is very light, so its engine consumes very little fuel. On such a little bag, this foam Decoy can fly for up to 8 hours. And in the same compartment there is the brain that controls the whole flight. Its goal is to buzz, to look like the real thing. It costs little but does a lot of damage. It is an ideal target for our enemy to make us use air missiles on this drone. I've heard they can launch, for example, 50 of these and 50 real ones. Yes, and we don't know which. So we use everything on everything. Let's examine the engine. Oh, the propeller is made of wood, a tiny, cheap engine. The ailerons are also made of foam. By the way, it is entirely foam, but this edge here is plastic. At high speed, of course, air forces act on it, so this part must be rigid. Here we see where a bullet hit. And here, see, there is a little connector and wires. They transmit controlling signals to the wings. It's made, you know, like in a school engineering club. We took off the wing, very, very light. I see you have another type here, right? Yes. This one is made of plywood, the cheap option. Even cheaper, right? Yes. Very, very cheap materials, OSB and plywood. Here is the engine compartment. There used to be an engine here. It disassembles very easily. Like this, little wings. Here's a plastic tank, and that's it. The tail section. There's some tape here. Well, what can you say? Laugh or not laugh, but this is an effective weapon. So far, there is no way to distinguish a decoy. We cannot detect that. And this, I understand, are fragments of real down targets you have, right? Yes, these are remnants of already shot down Garands. Shahed is the original Iranian name of the drone. In Russia, it is produced under the name Garand, almost by the same technology. This is the smallest part of the wing itself. This is the maneuvering wing. Here, don't touch. Here the materials are completely different. Carbon fiber, right? Yes, not a cheap material. It can carry up to 40 kilograms of combat payload, which can cause very great damage. That's a terrifying weapon. Now what do we see on the monitor? Are these all drones? These are all drones. Su-30s and Su-34s are also there. Near Kursk? Near Kursk. At the moment we have Shahed Gerbera type targets, but Gerberas are now being fitted with a warhead, 4 to 5 kilograms of explosive. To cause damage anyway, right? Yes. So reconnaissance spotted a target. You gave the order, the state emergency warned the people. How do you then decide which weapon shoots down which target? What will a Patriot shoot down? What will an S-300 engage? What will an F-16 take on? Or helicopter, for example? Unfortunately for ballistics, we only have Patriot systems working, and today it also engaged. If cruise missiles are incoming, fighters are engaging. If there are Shaheds, then either mobile fire teams or surface-to-air missile systems come into action. Here helicopters can work now, and an F-16 can also be brought in. And those green ones are helis. Those are helicopters. There is no universal recipe. Every air defense engagement is a new decision depending on the situation. See, the helicopters just worked, quite powerfully. So many targets have already disappeared. 94, 90. What's its altitude? A kilometer. Roger. We are preparing for takeoff. Another hunt for Shaheds in the Ukrainian sky is beginning. Very hard, complex, dangerous work, and at the same time very important. Why is it important? Because helicopters mainly operate over fields, far from towns. They intercept drones long before the drones are over populated areas. So they fall right into a field and cause no harm to people. That's why it's so important. Plainly put, how this all works. 24/7, several crews, 4 people each, stand watch at a base near the helicopters. 24/7 the air is monitored. And as soon as the duty crew sees that aerial targets are entering the square of responsibility of that group, everyone is raised on alert. There are roughly 5 minutes to get ready and 5 minutes to reach the helicopter. Then everything happens very fast. You board, take off, and the search begins. How do they search? Ahead of you is the night vision device. While the pilot does his job and flies the helicopter, the second pilot, the navigator, watches the airspace through the night vision gear. At the same time, they receive radio information about where the drone is. They try to catch up with the drone, match its speed, and open fire. That's it. So the main task is to find the drone, catch up with it, position the helicopter so the gunner can accurately fire at it, and at the same time not get too close. Because if the detonation is very close to the helicopter can be damaged. And that's also very dangerous, because there are rotors and fuel. Here, for example, we have the fuel tank inside. So you must be careful. The work is extremely dangerous. But just as we got into the air, a command came in to land immediately. What happened? A fighter was scrambled. And what danger does the fighter pose to us? It engages targets. A missile locks on regardless of whether the target is a helicopter or a Shahed. Safety measures are to prevent, as we say, friendly fire. From the northeast, a group of Shaheds is approaching, up to 10. Air raid alert, ballistics, Kursk, Sumy, Kharkiv, Poltava regions. Info came 6 minutes ago. Our fighter is operating in that area. Until it withdraws, they will not let us take off. But in reality, allowing colleagues to destroy the target is much more dangerous than engaging it on your own. We know that right now, somewhere above us, rockets are being shot down, and we could very well be the target of those rockets. In these moments, everyone is just trying somehow to distract themselves. Speak. Look at that moon. Awesome. Yeah, but not that cool. A couple of days ago, there was an eclipse. It was almost blood red. Dark red. Like in horror movies. Everyone has their own stories. Fishermen have their own tales. And do helicopter crews have their own stories about Shahed this big? What story comes to mind? I think for everyone it is their first combat sortie. Well, what was yours? It was February 28th near Makariv. We were flying in formation. I noticed a rocket coming at us. I shouted to the lead. He went right, I went left. The rocket passed between us. Those emotions don't fade. What did you manage to think about? Where to turn? You don't think about anything else. But you managed. Yes. And you boys? I remember when we were firing missiles while enemy troops were below us. That was also very scary. Engineer? I came a little later. There weren't such incidents. What does the gunner say? I was in Congo on the first day of the war. And what were you doing in Congo? A peacekeeping mission. What do you really love about your job? The sky, the flight, it's romantic. The fields, few people see what we see. People wave to you. Yes, a lot of people wave. Everyone is glad. Many children run out with flags. They bring us treats. It's very pleasant when they wave. You can wave back. They're happy too. For sure. Once I came home and said we fly so low that when girls wave you can see their breasts, and my wife let me have it for that. That's all not true. Something came through. 49, takeoff, direction 70. And just as we received the command to take off, we immediately hear a familiar sound. It is a Shahed, very close and low, and it is approaching us. With every second, the sound gets closer and louder. It is approaching. In that moment, there is only one thought. With high probability, it might be flying directly at us. And our helicopter has full fuel tanks. Plus, the fuel truck is right beside us. If it hits, the chances of survival are minimal. So all of us, crew and film team, try to run as far as possible from the helicopter. In the next episode, crew readiness number 1. On board, take your stations. Shahed. I am seeing a Shahed this close for the first time. There are power transformers. They are targeting the energy infrastructure. A Shahed is flying right next to us, very close. It's flying. A drone is coming at us. Here it is near us. Here it is, very close. What are the casualty figures? Understood. Bastards! Do you see what they are doing? If you'd heard this in 22, would you have believed it was real? I didn't tell my mom where I am. I said I went to Poltava to film dumplings. She will see later on TV. The World Inside Out with Dmytro Komarov, Ukraine.